Hey everybody, Lance Elrod with Next Step Financial Transitions. Wanted to talk to y'all quickly today about the dark side of mutual funds. Now, I want to preface this with mutual funds are actually a great way to achieve diversification with just one holding. I'm not saying mutual funds are bad. Mutual funds are a collection of either individual stocks, individual bonds, sometimes a combination of both. So it's a way to hold one investment and gain access to hundreds, maybe thousands that are managed by a mutual fund manager. That's why you see mutual funds in your 401ks. It's a great way to achieve some of that diversification. If you are looking for that diversification, make sure you hold multiple mutual funds so that you hit, both US stocks, international stocks, bonds, mid, small caps, the gamut, because it's not going to give you diversification across everything. But I did want to talk about that dark side of mutual funds. The reason I want to talk about that is because nobody loves taxes. So the dark side of mutual funds is actually what we call a phantom gain. And what I'm talking about here is only applicable if you are holding mutual funds in a taxable account. So in those retirement accounts, those 401ks, those IRAs, because there are no capital gains in those accounts, these phantom gains don't apply. In a taxable account, if you buy a mutual fund, you hang on to it and it grows. Later on down the road, you decide to sell, you have a gain. That gain is taxed to you as a capital gain. Now, if you buy that same mutual fund, hang on to it, and then decide not to sell, at the end of the year, you may still get a capital gains tax, and that's where that phantom gain comes in. The reason this happens is because there are other people holding that same mutual fund. And if they choose to sell their shares of the mutual fund, well, the manager has to go in and sell some of the underlying securities within that mutual fund to give them their dollars. The reason people may do this is, if that mutual fund grew all year long, like it may have last year, they decided to take some of the gains off the table, or there was a correction in the middle of the year and they freaked out and wanted to sell the mutual fund then. There are multiple reasons why that manager may have to sell throughout the year, even though you chose not to, because you were cool with the growth or you didn't get freaked out at the wrong time. Either way, that manager had to make a trade to get that cash available. So the individual stocks within the mutual fund had their own gains, and the mutual fund manager is now passing those along to everybody who held that mutual fund throughout the year. Now, it's not really avoidable unless you're holding a mutual fund in those retirement accounts or unless you're holding individual stocks and bonds themselves. But if we're trying to achieve that diversification with the mutual fund of holding one fund and getting access to hundreds of securities, you can't really have your cake and eat it too. So it's not necessarily a bad thing because capital gains means the account's doing what you want it. It's actually going in an upward direction. You can call it a success tax if you want. But I just want y'all to be aware, because we did hit the end of the year. You might see some of these start to come out. Don't want you to freak out, question why you're getting the gains tax, even though you chose not to sell your fund throughout the year. Just something to keep in mind come tax time. A little tip for y'all. It is a dark side of mutual fund, but as I said earlier, mutual funds can be a great tool when you're looking to invest. Y'all have a good one.